is Passenger Seat Radio. It is March 3rd, 2026. You're on my 13-mile commute home. Welcome to the show. If you happen to have tuned in yesterday when I went live, my wife called in the middle of the show, and I knew she was going to blab for a whole bunch of times, so I cut the show off and I deleted it. So we're going to be covering some old stuff from yesterday, yeah. So I didn't figure I should just let that one sit and drift in the ether. So instead, we're going to start the show fresh. I already told her not to call me, that I'm going to be doing a show on the way home, so leave me alone. All right, so, and I had an opportunity to make a list, which is always nice. Can't make a list on the phone anymore because you don't have your phone, because it's right there. So anyway, how's everybody doing? It is Tuesday. Normally I do a show on Monday, but, you know, obviously things happen, and let's hope that we don't lose the show today. So I have been working on sort of, not like a master project, but a big project that I'm ready to bring you guys in on. It's been something I've been wanting to do for a really long time, and it sort of just fell in my lap as part of something else I was doing. So here's the deal. If you're a fan of this show and you've been around a really long time, you know that Passenger Seat Radio has existed for almost 19 years. We're closing in. It was 2008. So we're like 18, almost 19 years into this show. And I've been doing it for a really long time. And you can only imagine, like, if this is a chronicle of my life for the last 20 years, there's some really interesting stuff in there. In fact, I get asked all the time, hey, didn't you tell cool stories about the Navy or Power School or that dude on the boat that was a complete psychopath? You know, which episodes are those? Hey, now, who's that? Oh, it's Javier. They're like, yeah, which episode has the Navy story? I want to hear about Clarence. I want to hear about this or that. And the truth is, I don't fucking know. I don't know what episodes those were in. I do remember a couple of big things, like where I went to Meteor Crater with Troy, and he and I talked about real estate and all these ex-girlfriends that we had. So I remember some of those things. But after like 1,600 shows, which is really how many there have been, it's unbelievable. With all these shows, I don't remember where these things are. So one of the things I always wanted to do, my dream, was for all the podcasts that I've done. So I've done this, obviously this one, Passenger Seat Radio. Retro Gaming Radio was my 15 minutes of fame. And Chris Henschel and I did a show called Dual Screen Radio all around the Nintendo DS. Had a lot of fans. Very hard to keep up when we were on different coasts. It was very difficult to get the show out. But people loved it. So over the years, there's sort of been this push, like, what do I need to do before I'm dead, right? I mean, because you start thinking about stupid shit like that when, you know, you're in your mid-50s. You start thinking, I've got to do something with this shit before I'm dead. And so one of the things I always wanted to do was transcribe everything. And the reason to transcribe is so that you have a written record that takes up practically no space and is endlessly searchable and indexable, and every sort of which you can use it, a simple text file that represents everything about a given podcast episode, right? So you probably remember back in the day, if you're a Retro Gaming Radio fan, back in the day, my producer said, no transcripts ever. They need to hear you. They need to hear your voice. They need to hear your inflection. That's your money. And it's like, okay, I buy that. Listen, he was a very wise guy. He said, you can't have transcriptions. Can't be done. Never. Well, you know, he died. And I never did go around to doing transcriptions, but it became important to me now that I've got such a body of work that I want to be able to find that stuff. Up until even just a few years ago, transcription of audio is ridiculously expensive, right? So there were a handful of companies that I used, and for a short period of time, every time I would do a show, I would run home, dump the show, upload it, wait for hours for it to transcribe, and usually pay some sort of a fee or credits or chunks of time that you're paying for in order to get that transcription. Then you got to take the transcription, you got to match it up to an episode, you got to put the episode and the transcription somewhere online. I backed everything through WordPress, but then you change hosting providers, right? I had Libsyn and all these other. It's a mess. It's a mess. How do you get that body of work out where people can see it? But the transcription is the key to everything. Being able to find the episode where I talk about intestinal blockages on ferrets or whatever. I've got good stuff to tell, and I've told good stuff, but where the hell is it? I've got the episodes. Just can't tell you which one's which. So, with AI becoming so powerful and so omnipotent, blah blah blah, it became clear that eventually transcription would be cheap or free. So I've been dicking around. So in our office, right? They've been wanting us to become more AI centric, right? Everyone believes AI is the future. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. Don't know. What I do know though is that we've got tools to play with. And so I have been playing with AI, trying to see what it can do, what it can't do, and how can it, for me, AI is about how do I move my agenda forward, right? How can I serve you better, right? I used to write tutorials on paper, and then everybody told me, I don't want to read, I want to see it on a video. So I moved to video, right? This is just the natural extension of how do I get what you want from me out where you can get it, right? It's always been this thing. Why don't you put Retro Gaming Radio online so everybody can have it? Well, I was selling them for a while, and I made a little bit of scratch, and I think that's fine. I've done a huge body of work, so that's okay, right? You make some money, but the big fans have got it already. Now it's time for me to cement the legacy and put them somewhere, and along with that. Well, Retro Gaming Radio was a little different because I actually indexed all of those. Keywords, who the guest was, what the rant was about, what software I was reviewing. I've got that in a database. That's easier than this show, which is completely unproduced, unfiltered. I don't know what I'm even going to say in the next 10 minutes, right? So, anyway, so I had Claude up at home, and I was noodling with it. And I said, God damn it, it's 2026. Isn't there a free way that I can transcribe thousands of episodes of my podcasts for free or cheap? And it's like, yeah, in fact, we can do it in 10 minutes. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. No, I can't do that. So it was basically like, okay, I'm listening, guide me. And so what it turned out was download a tool called Whisper, back it with a free language model, right? Put all that together, and Claude, will write you a script. You put a whole bunch of MP3s in a folder, run this tool, and it will transcribe them all for free into text files with a pretty decent degree of accuracy. And I'm like, this is bullshit. It's not a 5-minute gig. There's no way. This thing was like $1 million like a year ago. Now all of a sudden I can do it for free. So I took the challenge. I took the Pepsi challenge, and within 10 minutes I was converting passenger seat radio episodes into transcripts, and it's pretty good. So then it became like, okay, now I'm starting to get a little bit excited about the concept, right? I'm like, okay, well shit, this was the hard part. Okay, maybe not. The other hard part is, where do I put these things, right? There's about 30 gigabytes of passenger seat radio. Like from the beginning till now is about 30 gigabytes a show. Where do you store that, right? You're not going to host it locally. You're sure as hell not going to put it up on not GeoCities. I had that in the brain. Javier understands. You're not going to put that up on some self-hosted web shit. You need some place that's going to host it for free and make it easy to get to. So, of course, the greatest piracy site on the internet, archive.org. But imagine uploading 1,600 files to archive.org. What's that look like? It looks like 6 months of your life. So once again, I reached out to Mr. Claude and said, hey, so if I'm thinking about putting these on archive.org. It's a great choice. Don't you love how AI wants to kiss your ass and stroke your ego all the time? That's a great choice. In fact, and I was like, okay, but how am I going to get them all up there? It's like, I'll write you a script. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. And it's like, all you need to do is go to archive.org, get your key and, your ID and your key. You're going to plug it into the script, which that's a little creepy. But listen, it's archive.org. It's not like I'm giving my routing number to my bank, right? So essentially the idea was, show me where your podcast folder is, plug these into the script and run it, and I will upload all 1,600 of them for you through archive.org's API. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It can't be that easy. Well, if you go to archive.org right now, I think it's 1,100 of them of Passenger Seat Radio episodes are sitting on archive.org, and I started uploading last night. And I didn't have to do anything. I pushed a button, and it's done. It's on it. They're up there. Now, using archive.org as the vassal, I should now be able to take all of these transcripts, wedge them into WordPress, where they can all be searchable and indexable, right? You should be able to land on a page and have it either jump you over to archive.org for the episode or actually play the episode right inside the page. And I didn't do any of it. I mean, obviously I did all the shows, but everything was written by Claude to do that. To me, now when you start talking about the ethics of AI, like what should we be using AI for, and what should we not be using AI for? Where does humanity start and stop? And I thought this was this is a huge backstory to actually get to this point. But it's like, so in my case, AI managed to shave off thousands of dollars and thousands of hours of my time to get to this end result. It didn't do the podcast. It didn't run for 20 years transcribing somebody's life. It didn't research and write stories about famous retro gaming developers and all that shit. That was me. A human did that. All the AI is used for is to how to deliver it to the people in a way that's consumable and easy and free. So to me, this really sort of cemented. I've always been, I know a lot of you are probably in this boat too. AI up to but not including replacing humans. And this really sort of gave me, because I'm not really pro or anti AI, to be honest with you. I mean, in certain use cases I am in both sides, but I'm kind of agnostic about AI. What can you do for me? That's what I think about AI. What can you do, AI, for me? Right? Not fill your pockets, not take over my operating system, not collect my data every 2 fucking seconds like a fucking data broker ATM. I'm talking about what can you do for me? Right? I'll pay $20 a month if Claude can save me 10,000 hours of work and produce these sort of results. That makes sense to me. But I'm not replacing me. I'm not replacing the human in this story. Right? The creative side, that side continues to rest with humans. AI just makes life a little bit easier. So, yes. So right now, all those episodes of Passenger Seat Radio are available right now. And you can go, and there's thousands of hours for you to listen to, which is pretty cool. Now, I've got a script to sync up the transcripts up to my WordPress site. I have a feeling that I'm going to run into a couple of glitches there, but we'll see. And then, of course, it needs to do all the indexing and all that shit. But we're close, right? So what does that mean? That means Retro Gaming Radio is around the corner. I know a lot of people. You're obviously watching the show right now, so you must at least tolerate Passenger Seat Radio. Maybe hoping I talk about retro gaming or something. But people have really wanted me to do something with Retro Gaming Radio, and I did. I did the definitive Retro Gaming Radio experience, everything, every shred that I'm legally allowed to, every shred of content I ever made for Retro Gaming Radio, every show, every uncut interview, every extra, every hidden fucking thing that's on every disc that I've ever authored was put on a flash drive and sold as the definitive edition, right? I did that. That was not really for me. I didn't make a ton of money, not with shipping the way it is. I did that for the fans. The fans wanted the ultimate. I want everything. And I don't want to have to piecemeal this disc or that. I just want it all. I want it all. And I did that. So my debt has been discharged. I've made the last scratch of money I'm ever going to see for Retro Gaming Radio, right? And now I'm ready to give it away. Not give it away, but I'm willing to. I want to do it for the people. Passenger Seat Radio is going to be the conduit to get that process ironed out, and then we're going to do it for Retro Gaming Radio. And I will take Retro Gaming Radio, and I will do cool things with that. Once it's all up there and it's indexed and searchable, it's going to be amazing. You guys are going to love it. Those of you who are big fans of Retro Gaming Radio. And if Chris Henschel is okay with it, I'll do the same thing for Dual Screen Radio. That'll be fun too. So, yeah. So anyway, that's been sort of my recent sort of passion projects. You'll notice there have been slower videos on YouTube. It's not because of this. It's because I have a whole bunch of things in the hopper that sort of fell through. Products that were supposed to come but never showed up, or stuff I was counting on to work on the Commodore 64 but didn't. So now I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with that. So it's not because of anything in particular. It was just luck of the draw. Don't worry about it. There'll be plenty more to come. So yeah, there's also something. I'm going to wait for that one. Hold off on that one. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is there's a game that doesn't get enough love. I've talked about it on the show before, but I'm going to bring it up again for a couple of reasons. One, it's like $15, 15, not 50, 15 bucks. I've got 60 hours of gameplay, and I'm about to put probably 20 to 25 more into it. And it came out with some new DLC for like $9. So, new DLC, low price on the game, and it's a shitload of fun. So I thought I would bring it back up, right? So the game is called The Planet Crafter. Now, if you've ever played any of these sort of world building, crafting, survival games, you'll be right at home here. It's just a shitload of fun. It's an addictive game loop where, and again, I'm not suggesting that it's somehow unique, but sometimes when you steal a whole bunch of shit from a lot of different games and you implement it in just the right way, it is bigger than the sum of the parts. Does that make sense? Right? So you look at it and go, my son actually walked by, I was playing, he's like, are you playing Subnautica? And I'm like, no. And then he came by another time and said, is that blah, blah, blah? And I'm like, no, it's another game altogether. But then it kind of occurred to me that, well, who could blame him? It looks a lot like it. It plays a lot like it. But, and you look at it, you're going, oh, that's from this game. That's from this game. That's from this game. And sometimes that works. Not always, but sometimes it works. And you put your own little unique spin on it, maybe tune the dopamine loop a little bit. There you go. So basically, Planet Crafter, there's not much of a story. Let's be honest, right? Like The Forest at least had a story. You're a convict, and in order to avoid spending the rest of your life in jail, you've joined this program where you go and terraform planets. That's your job. And that's how you're paying off your debt to society, is to go find a planet. We're going to drop you on a planet, and you're going to make it from a terrible, inhospitable place into a lush, pure, beautiful planet, right? And you're going to do this through painstaking amounts of crafting and building and expanding. And there's all sorts of great things. And again, I'm sure I've done it on another show. And guess what? In a couple of days, you'll probably be able to search for it on the website and figure out which fucking show I already talked about this about. But it's a great game. If the concept even sounds fun to you, it's $15. It's a couple of lattes, and I promise you, it's brutal at the beginning. I'm not going to lie. You're probably going to die a lot, and it's a little unforgiving. But I swear to you, 3 or 4 hours after, once you start to get through the game loop, you'll figure out exactly what the tethers are, because that's how all these survival games are, right? It's how far can you explore, how much can you do given the limitations that you're initially bound to. And then as those limitations slowly open up, you get a bigger oxygen tank, right? So you don't have to come back and breathe air as often. You can spend more time out. Right? You'll find things that affect your appetite, so you don't have to eat as much. You'll find things that make you run faster, so you can go farther. You can explore further. You'll find ways of expanding your backpack, so you can carry more without having to come back and drop off. So the game is well paced. You're not going to feel like, Jesus Christ, man, how long do I have to be destitute? No, they trickle it in well. So and I think that's probably part of the secret sauce. Not every game can pull that off. But the other reason that I wanted to bring it up is they have a new DLC called Toxic. And it's a brand new planet, right? So it's a brand new planet with new things to do, new game loops. It's the same idea. You're dropped on a planet. It's all toxic. It's not just barren and void of life. It's also barren, void of life, and also toxic as fuck. So you have to be able to survive different things. So it's like you're playing a reskinned version of Planet Crafter, but it's got all different stuff. Not all different stuff, some new stuff. So it's still got the main components of building and things like that, but you'll have to do other stuff in order to work around the toxicity of the planet. So it's a lot. I wasn't sure I was going to dig it because, more of the same doesn't always work for me. But in this case, more of the same, I think, worked out fine because it's not exactly the same. You don't feel like you're playing just the same game over again. You feel like you're playing sort of a 1.5 version. So is it worth like $9? Hell yeah. So you get both. You get the full game. I think you get a deal if you buy them bundled. You get the full game that's going to last you 50, 60 hours, maybe more, along with this new one. I don't know how long the new one lasts because I'm in the middle of playing it. But I got all caught up on that last night. Started getting in on that. Let's see. Well, we're talking about video games. Overwatch is back, right? A lot of people are like, Overwatch isn't back. It's still the same old shit. But it's worth noting. It's worth noting that I don't want to let Blizzard off the hook because they fucked up. And we all know that they fucked up with this whole Overwatch 2 thing. But at the same time, there's sort of this philosophy that if you don't try and fail, you'll never get anything new, right? So whether you try and succeed and you end up with something new, or you try and fail and you reverse course and fix or repair or try again, right? There's some sort of a quote or saying about that. But the idea is, let's be honest, Overwatch, the original Overwatch was starting to get it was fun. I still played the crap out of it, but it wasn't going anywhere. It wasn't maturing or evolving. And I mean, live service games by nature need to evolve and change. Otherwise they can't keep you, right? I know nobody wanted Overwatch to be a live service game to begin with. I get it, 100%. Right there with you. I don't know how much I paid for Overwatch. I think it was $50. I bought Overwatch. And I'm paying paying a live service game for something I already paid for, which should have my fucking head checked. But the point is, when they said we're going to do this Overwatch 2 thing, they fucked up. They know they fucked up. We all know that they fucked up, right? They totally poked the pooch. They promised us PvE. They took away one of the tanks. They made changes. And let's be honest. We're friends here, right? The truth is, it was all about monetization, and we all know it, right? The PvE doesn't make money. That's the bottom of the truth. Did you know that Fortnite started off as PvE? Shit's gone, right? There's no money to be made in PvE. So that was a huge mistake, and I think they figured it out. They claimed that they couldn't make this or that work. Bullshit. They figured out it doesn't make any money. That's why they stopped doing it. So they took away the tank, made it 5v5 instead of 6v6, pissed a lot of people off. They nerfed this, they buffed that. That pissed a lot of people off. They made egregious errors in monetization. That pissed everybody off. And yeah, they lost a shitload of their player base. And guess what? They deserve to lose all of that player base, 100%. Now, some of us initially protested. We stuck around. We adapted. We kind of got into the groove. And as things failed, they started dropping off. They brought back 6v6, just not in the main game. It became an arcade mode version, that sort of thing. But they did. They started rolling back the stupid shit. They brought back loot boxes, which, smart, right? Not paid loot boxes. We loved loot boxes because they gave us that capture feel without having to pay any money. You got it from playing the game. That came back. So those people who abandoned Overwatch when it went to 2, I do not blame you a second. Now they're back. Now it's dropped to 2. It's just Overwatch now. Did they fix it? Is it fixed? Should you come back? There's a lot of things that are fixed. There are. If you want 6v6 in the main game, it's not back. It's probably not going to come back. The game is now built around it. The maps are built around 5v5. I know that seems weird, but it's true. That's not good. That's not coming back. But they figured it out. And you know what? A majority of the people that were really pissed off about Overwatch 2 have come back to see. They just came back and said, all right, you guys better not fuck me a third. Fuck me once, shame on you. Fuck me twice, shame on me. They came back, and if you go out on YouTube, it's positive. I mean, YouTube people love to fuck with these guys. Look what they did to that Highland game, or what was it, Highland? Yeah. Look what they did to that game. That shit was online for what, 14 days or something, and it got completely thrashed. It was terrible. But people are like, okay, we're back. We're back. And it's like, that to me is like a riches to rags to riches story. Because let's be honest, Overwatch was one of the greatest games, right? And then they fucked it up. It turned out to be not. And then now they brought it back and they pulled it off. Now, will they continue to? Don't know. But the point is, if you left Overwatch 2 in the crapper, don't blame you. Maybe take a look. Don't take my word for it, though. Go look at YouTube. Go look at those crazy bastards that bash the living shit out of everything. Those are the people. The people who bash games for a living. They're coming out and saying, look at this, Overwatch is back. So go talk to them. I mean, I'll tell you, I never left. So maybe I'm not the best. But I do know Javier, my friend, who's listening. Maybe he's not listening still, but he's been back and we've been playing together. It's been great. There's still the same problem, right? Listen, team shooters where the people don't play as a team, it doesn't matter if you're Overwatch 1 or Overwatch 2 or whatever. It doesn't matter. When you're playing team deathmatch in a team-based shooter, it sucks. And you're always going to end up in a lobby that has that, or you're always going to end up, unless you've got 5 people to play or 4 other people to play with, then shit, good for you. But usually I can get 2, right? I get my son and I can get, by the way, my son got rid of Overwatch as well. I know Javier left Overwatch with Overwatch 2. Now they're both back, and I've got 3 people to play with. And, with 3 of us, it doesn't matter if we get a couple of randos for the most part, as long as we get an even split amongst the groups. So, yeah. So if you've been pining away for Overwatch, if you're just curious if maybe they learned anything, they learned something, maybe go take a look. And again, don't trust me. Go look around. Along with all this heaps of praise that I'm talking about, what the fuck? Overwatch Mobile? What the fuck is wrong with you guys? You bank all this goodwill and everybody is... let me talk about that. That's a good point. So Red Boyle says, I don't like PvP games. I do not either. And I don't know how much I want to keep talking about this, but PvP games are usually a problem because everybody around you has no life. The lifers are all involved in PvP because the only way they get any fucking satisfaction in life is killing other people in video games. It's the only jolt they get. So these are fuckers that spend 14 hours a day playing Call of Duty or whatever. They've prestige 17 times and you don't have a chance, right? The person in PvP that's not willing to make the investment, right? they're not going to be happy. Now, team-based shooters is where I changed my mind. Marvel Rivals, same idea. A little lesser so than Overwatch. You are part of a team. When I play Call of Duty, which is rare these days because I don't know what the fuck they're up to with that. But when I play Call of Duty, I don't like team deathmatch. I like the game modes where you're playing as a team, domination, capture the flag, that sort of thing. Anything where you don't have to go it alone. And so I can honestly say I don't like PvP, but I'm okay with a team-based objective type scenario. So anyway, I don't want to spend all. I want to go back to bashing Overwatch Mobile. So we all know what's going on here, right? So they've had this probably in development for 2 or 3 years. I don't know what the number is, but I bet it's a long freaking time that they've been in development. They have 2 choices. They can flush it down the toilet and take a tax write-off, or they can try it out. And my guess is that the timing of this is not chance. So here's I have no clue. I'm talking out of my ass. Full disclaimer. My guess is they've had this in development. They've had it close to ready to ship for a while. It's just been sitting there. When they said when we relaunch Overwatch 2 as Overwatch again, if the brand takes off again and everybody's happy with us, we'll release the mobile version. If everybody says we're a bunch of, bag of dicks, then we're going to shelve it. We'll throw it away. We'll do it as a tax write-off. Obviously, Overwatch has become rather successful again. So, of course, the mobile game's going to ship. To me, it's pointless. I mean, I don't give a shit. Mobile gaming died when the Smurfberry was invented. That's my opinion. I loved mobile gaming. Christ, I ran a channel about mobile gaming. Right? Green Robot Gamer. Anybody remember that? We're my fans. But yeah, it became a shithole, right? Bad. I mean, really bad. So I don't care about mobile gaming. I don't have any games installed on my phone right now. None. Zero. Zilch. Nada. My wife does. I don't. Some of the best games were those that you could play for free and then make a one-time purchase to unlock something and you're done. $5, bought and paid for, beautiful. That was fine. Days have long since gone. Can't make any money selling games on mobile. You gotta get the fucking whales. But anyway, I digress. So, yeah. So if it succeeds, I don't know. Do people play mobile games like that? I don't know. It's not for me though. I've already looked it over. What was that? Spending too much on a mobile game. Right. Yeah. Never play mobile games ever. Here's I know I've told the story before, but I have a lot of new listeners, and I know that you guys would find this interesting. Mobile gaming was dead to me when I figured out the Simpsons secret. What do I mean by that? If you've ever played the Simpsons game, I can't remember the subtitle of the game. It's the Simpsons game. It had a subtitle though. That game was nothing. There was nothing in the game. And here's how I found out. So basically, in the game, I think you bought donuts, right? So everything you did, you had every inch of progress you made in that game were through buying donuts for real money. And so, I was trying to figure out why people were playing this game, and I picked it up and I played a little bit of it, and it's like, Jesus, why do people put themselves through this? Damn it, it's like, wait to play till tomorrow, buy more donuts, pay your way through this gate. And I'm like, are people fucking stupid? How bad is it out there? Because that's what you're thinking in your noodle. Do you realize that you're paying for really nothing? I mean, there's nothing, you're paying to move forward. That's ridiculous. And so what I ended up doing was I got a cracked version of the game for my Android phone. I had Simpsons with unlimited donuts. And I don't remember, I'm sure I talked about this on the show before, so maybe my archive will help out. It was ridiculous. There was like an hour and a half of gameplay. If you had unlimited donuts, the game lasted like an hour and a half. That's it. That the whole game. There were people that had been playing The Simpsons for over a year and had never finished the game. How many donuts did it take? It was like thousands and thousands of dollars of donuts to finish that game. For 1.5 hours of actual gaming content. That never again. No more. We're done. We're done with this nonsense. And you know, and once you've seen how the sausage is made, you never want to eat the sausage again. So that's where that went. And I'm sure Overwatch Mobile is going to scratch some sort of itch, but you know, after that whole Diablo on the phone bullshit, that pissed me off. I mean, I was still kind of a Diablo fan back then. I'm not anymore. But it's kind of like the arrogance. Well, we know what you want. You want the new PC version of Diablo, but look what we're going to give you. Fuck off. I hated that whole thing. But anyway. So yeah, so that's the other side of Overwatch. I'll be curious to see how it goes. I'm hoping it crashes and burns, to be honest with you, but you know, I'm an asshole like that. What else? Oh, so back to the AI thing for just a minute. So I maintain a number of archival websites, mostly for my own shit. You know, Dark Unicorn Productions, my shareware company on the Amiga, blah blah blah. I have a website for Orc Attack, the amazing Amiga game called Orc Attack. It's amazing. It's fantastic. But one site that I've had up since 1999, so 27 years. That's a good body there. Is the Deluxe Galaga site. So Deluxe Galaga, greatest shooter of all time in my opinion. On the Amiga, huge fan base. Blah blah blah. Doesn't matter. So every year or two, I dust it off, make a couple of little enhancements, a couple of little updates. A couple of years back, I made a Steam Deck tutorial for it, so you can play Deluxe Galaga on your Steam Deck. Easy, simple. But yeah, so I reached out to the guy when he was still alive, Edgar Vidgol, the developer of Deluxe Galaga, Deluxe Pac-Man, handful of other games, Warblade, if you were a PC user. And I reached out and I said, listen, I want to run your official site, man. I'll do it for free. And it won't cost you a thing. We're gonna get your name out there. We're gonna talk more about the game. We're gonna give the fans some love, right? We're gonna put a secret section up, a glossary of all this stuff. And he was like, yeah. And he made me his official website. So I have been and always shall be the official Deluxe Galaga website owner. So every couple of years I dust it off, upgrade the tech a little bit. It was like a simple page, and then I moved to PHP, and then I moved to WordPress. But it's like, you know, just for fun. Again, just flexing the muscle a little bit. Hey, Claude, go look at this website and rewrite it so I don't have any dependencies. I don't want to be dependent on WordPress or PHP or I don't want to be bound to any server-side technology. I want to be able to drop this fucker anywhere I want and be able to host it wherever. And this one took a little bit. I had to work with him a little bit, but at the end of the day, I mean, I didn't tell him what to do. Whatever. I didn't tell Claude what to do. It took notes of the site. It knows more about me now. And it took the site and regenerated into a single page, beautiful looking website. And I put that online this morning. So if you go to deluxegalaga.com, you'll see the handiwork of Claude. It's still, now remember, it's my content. I wrote all of that. I did all the tutorial work. I did all of the gathering and the research and the collating of content. That's me. The human did that. AI just dressed it up a little bit and put it in a manner that is now more suitable for 2026. So again, it's one of those sort of things where I look at that as a success story of AI. Not something down or negative, but something that makes sense to me. So that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. AI. No more AI this episode, I promise. Okay, so several of you have, one, seen it, or two, reached out and asked me, Shane, what gives with the earrings? So what's really funny is I didn't tell anybody about them. Not even my peer group knew about them. And you'll notice that I haven't done anything on video where you see my face. And in fact, if I accidentally clip the side of my head on one of these videos, which I tend to do, I cut it out. Wasn't really ready to talk about it yet. Honestly, because I didn't know I was even going to keep the things or not. So the real question, of course, is what the fuck? Why? Midlife crisis, Shane? Couldn't just go buy a car or bang a 21-year-old? You had to go and get earrings? What's that all about? Well, I wish, God damn it, I wish there was a great story. I was thinking about making one up just to see how it would land with you guys. But you know me, I'm a truthful kind of guy. Hey now, the truth is, it's not that I lost a bet, anything cool like that. No, my wife asked me to do it. That's it. She goes, would you get your ears pierced? And I'm like, okay. You know, she's gotten piercings for me. Least I could do. But no, I mean, okay, let's see what it looks like. Didn't hate it, so they're there. And I've got them still in. These are still the training studs. So I don't know what they're eventually going to yeah, there's both sides. I know you can't tell on there, but yeah, it's both sides. So yeah, there's no good reason other than my wife asked me to. And you know what? Listen, she didn't, ask me to have sex with a man or anything. So listen, I got off light. This is just earrings. I've heard stories. About what wives ask their husbands to do. Trust me, I got off light. So listen, I wish there was a better story, but there's not. That's it. I don't know if I talked about it or not, but I did want to mention that I did finally watch Euphoria. Those of you who know me well enough, I'd have said, no, my T's too high. And Kathy, if you're watching, sorry. No, anyway. So listen, wife asked you to do something. Listen, it's not like she asked me to have a sex change or something. Anywho, I finally got around to watching Euphoria. I'm one of those people that as long as a show has that weird, creepy audience behind it, I don't want to hear about it every 2 fucking seconds, right? People take things and they get a little too passionate about it. Like I always use American Beauty. When that movie came out, by the way, great movie. But when it came out, people wouldn't shut the fuck up about it. God damn. This is not the second coming of Jesus. And Euphoria was kind of like that, right? Everyone's talking about it. You're seeing it everywhere. Too much exposure. Not interested. But now that everything died down and my friends have this weird Sydney Sweeney complex going on, I said, fuck it. Why not? I'll watch it. One of my friends actually said that they started watching it, but it was too fucking depressing and they had to back out. That's my kind of show. I'm in. What was that? Damn it. I can't see the damn screen. There's a glint where I can't see. I'll look at the chat later. But anyway, so I did watch it. I enjoyed it a lot. It is coming back, by the way. There's another season coming this. Like everybody in that show will be like 10 years older by the time we get there. Anyway, so yeah, I did want to mention that. I did enjoy it. I did watch it. Still in for Dark Winds. Still enjoying that show. Again, not as great as last season, but listen, sometimes you take what you can get. There's one video I wanted to talk about this, but I didn't write anything down. So the movie Speed Racer from the Wachowski brothers, sisters, whatever. I don't know. I don't want to get into that. Speed Racer was one of those shows that I really liked the original cartoon. I grew up on it like many of you probably did. When they came out with the movie and it was like all CGI, I sort of took a step back and said, nah, not for me. But then I realized, like, after I watched it finally, I think I ended up watching it because the Wii game was so good. I think I played the Wii game before I watched the movie. I could be wrong there, but the Wii game is really good. Anyway, when I watched it, and again, I'm kind of disgusted with CGI, but there's times when CGI works, like Tron, or when you're actually in a digital world, that makes sense that everything is CGI, right? That's part of the movie. And Speed Racer really is just a comic book. It's a cartoon. And once I kind of clicked with me that that's what they were doing, I really enjoyed Speed Racer a lot. It's coming out in 4K later this year too. I really enjoyed it a lot, and I sort of took up a torch for it. It's like, listen, I mean, it's better than you think it is. You know, as long as you can dial in to what they're trying to put out. Anyway, I found a video. If I remember, I'll post it on the description of this video. I saw, but basically it's like, is Speed Racer the greatest movie ever made, or something like that? Some hyperbole clickbait shit. And I sat there, I'm like, I'm not watching that. Clickbait motherfucker, scroll. And then I ended up seeing it again, and it's like, fine, click. And it was a whole hour. It was like an hour-long video. And I'm like, fuck, I'm not watching an hour. I'll watch like 5 minutes, and I'm out. Watch the whole goddamn thing. And the guy made so much sense. There's some goofy YouTube bullshit in the middle of it, just trying to be funny or whatever. I've kind of given up on that myself, but people are still trying to do it. And it's not really bad or super cringy, but it's like, why don't cut away to the puppet, dude. Just fucking tell the story. You're doing great. And I watched the whole thing, and he really spells it. So I'll try to remember to post it, but okay, coming out, and I think it was actually mastered in 1080p. So I'll be curious to see what they did for 4K. It might piss me off if they use some sort of AI upscaling or something. Who knows? Cartoons upscale great, as I've shown you in many videos on my channel. So anyway, I wanted to mention that because I was, listen, for me to watch an hour-long YouTube, even at 2x, that takes something. So I was pleased. What else do I have in here I can get through in like 2 minutes? Probably nothing. All right, well, we'll save the other crap for later. I've got some fun stuff to talk to you about. But yeah, I have plenty of videos coming. I've got some product coming that I think is kind of exciting. I pass up product reviews all the time because if I don't think you guys are interested in it, or I don't think it solves a problem, or it breaks some new ground, I don't give a shit. I mean, I'll do occasional audio things because I'm into budget audio, but I don't know. But anyway, I got a couple of cool things coming, so you'll be excited. You'll enjoy it, I promise. All right, well, listen, I'm going to wrap this guy up before I get in range of my Wi-Fi. I've already gone around the block, so there you go. Dedication to the show. All right, I'm Shane R. Monroe. Thanks so much for watching Passenger Seat Radio. Appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. It's all just habit. It's habit, folks. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace and love. Peace and love. After September